Hey everyone, my name is Zach. I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to the COMPCLIMB training series, where I record all of my training, provide in-depth analysis of every session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. If you enjoy the series, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a ton. So in today's episode, we have our day 2 of training, morning session of spray wall for an hour, and then our workout in the evening. So when I got to the gym today here at Boulderveld, it was super packed. It's the weekend and all these German gyms are usually very busy on the weekends. And it was actually pretty cool. They had a couple national teams in the gym today. I don't really know what was going on, but I saw some German team members and a couple people from Belgium, I think. And there were like just a lot of regular members. So it was like kind of an exciting feeling to be in the gym. But yeah, I went to the spray wall to do my session, and it was really busy. So this like spray wall area is kind of like this little cave with some traverse walls on the side and in the back, and the spray wall right here. And I didn't get to, I was like trying not to be too invasive, and so I didn't actually film all my session. I only kind of pulled out the camera when it was like super critical, like I was gearing up for a really good attempt. I didn't want to film every single attempt for this session like I usually do. Just because the camera was kind of in the way of a lot of people trying to climb in this area, and there were also some like national team members that were trying to climb. So I just started filming maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes in my session, and you can see we're working on this boulder again today, which was a super hard boulder that we were trying in our last session. I just kind of like sussed out the moves last session, and I expected this boulder to take a few sessions to do because it was like omega hard, and we were only able to do like 1 or 2 moves at a time. And the hardest move on the boulder is this move here that I'm sticking here for the first time. You have this black volume, which is absolute garbage. It's such a bad sloper, but it's got like a little flat part at the back of it, of the hold, that you can kind of crimp against the wall, but it's like really hard on your wrist, and it's a really intense hold to hold. And I thought that it might not even be possible. But today I was feeling stupidly strong. I could tell even in my warm-up. It was so nice to feel. I haven't felt like this in a few sessions. I was like ready to just send everything. I felt so strong. It was really cool. And so here I'm actually gearing up for the Sengo of this climb. And you can notice here in the video, so this girl here is on the German team. And we were like all kind of climbing on this wall. It was pretty crowded. And so I walked up, and I thought that she saw me kind of walk up to the wall. But I guess like in her defense, she didn't necessarily know that I was gearing up for like a kind of a dyno where I was going to swing out, so I almost ended up kicking her there. So apologies to her. But unbeknownst to me what the situation was, I just kept climbing, and I managed to send this boulder here. I was not expecting this to go anytime soon. I hadn't even stuck that move in the middle there, and then the ending, I hadn't actually sent either, but I was feeling like 3 times as strong as the last session we were trying this boulder, and I just managed to put it away. It was super cool. That boulder was like really hard and like pretty my style too, some just powerful moves, and like I'm pretty good with my heel hooks. So I think I have like pretty strong hamstrings. So the fact that one of the cruxes is kind of this really intense move up to that pink sloper with your right heel hook keeping you on the wall, it means it's my style. And yeah, I think that this boulder is like right up at the difficulty range of like the V13 boulder that I sent a couple weeks ago. And so yeah, I call this like tied for one of my hardest stems on this wall. Really awesome feeling. I'm feeling super strong recently. And then yeah, like this was probably about 2/3 into my session I sent that boulder. And then like I said, I was not pulling up the camera for every single attempt. I was mainly it started to get a little bit less crowded, so I started filming more as I was trying this boulder here, which is the other like super hard project that we have up on the wall. And like obviously based on how strong I was feeling, and like based on how strong I was feeling, I was wondering if I could maybe get a send of this boulder, which I think we've only tried in 1 video so far. Yeah, but I've tried this boulder a bit at the beginning of the year. I probably worked it for a couple sessions, and then we tried it once in like a couple of previous sessions ago on this video series. And I was able to do this ending sequence like from the hold on the volume. I was able to send the ending once. It was really hard. And here I'm like working it again. It's like, even though I did it once, it's still just hard to even do it from like basically like a stand start. The ending sequence like revolves around this super hard foot cut that you have to take on this slopey yellow pinch. And especially because it's like been pretty hot in the summer, this pinch is never like super sticky. It's always a little bit greasy. I gotta squeeze really hard. But here I had like I was like trying the ending sequence a bunch, and I was getting like really hot, really tired. I couldn't do it, and so I took like a much longer rest than I usually do. I kind of said I need to like pace myself a bit better in this heat, and I was able to send the ending, which is a hard boulder on its own, even just jumping into the start position. But yeah, like after you take this really hard foot cut, you have a really cool like a kind of boss feeling move where you have this really strong, powerful static lock off that you have to make to this like little crimp on the black volume at the top there. But that like I said, the ending sequence of this boulder is like super hard and powerful, and to do it after these couple moves of like these couple introduction moves to this boulder is going to be really hard, and I think it's a little far off. And you've seen so yeah, like I said, you've seen me try this boulder once in one other video, but I've actually tried this move here a whole lot, like where I was trying to jump out to that yellow hold in the volume and catch a toe hook, but the toe hook is too bad. So you can see here I'm adding a hold, that little white hold that I'm going to. I decided I'm not gonna, this boulder is too low percentage. Like I don't even know if I still haven't even stuck that yellow hold, like trying to catch a toe hook. I think it might be possible, but it's like feels so low percentage that it's just not worth the amount of time that I'm gonna need to put into this boulder to be able to stick this move. So I decided to add an intermediate, make it a bit more doable, because even this intermediate is still making this move hard. And then in order to send this boulder, I got to do this whole crazy hard ending sequence on top of it. And this is something I'll do in training, is that like even if a boulder feels possible, if it's just going to take way too long to do, I'm better off for training's sake to move on to trying new boulders. And I feel like my sweet spot is around like I want to make a boulder that's going to take me 4 sessions to send. So like if it's 3, 4, or 5 sessions, that's pretty awesome. 4 would be like the magic number. But like for example, this boulder here could take me 10 sessions to put all that together, to stick this low percentage toe catch, and then have a try where I have like enough energy to do the ending sequence. That's just too much time on one boulder. And you know, we're just using the spray wall as like a training tool, so I gotta always remember that. And it's actually, that sequence is actually, I think it might even became a little bit cooler with the hold I added. The hold I go to, if you'll notice, I was kind of actually, it's like, so it's an undercling. And so I was kind of sticking my thumb in the hold and kind of just grabbing the outside of it. And it just gives me enough purchase to be able to walk my feet up into a bicycle and then kind of flop myself up to this hold on the volume, and then the bicycle will keep me. So hopefully now with this new hold, this climb is very possible and we can send it in the near future. Well, actually, that was our last spray wall session for this training cycle before our next rest week, and then we're going to Canada, so it'll be a while till we have a spray wall session again, which was cool. It was a nice session to finish off on, getting us into that very hard boulder. And then, yeah, so I rested for like 3 hours or something, made the trip back home because the weather looked clear to do my workout on the roof, and I had another very strong feeling session. Like usually if I have like a strong morning session, the evening is not going to be as good, but this is the strongest hangboard and pinch that I've had in the last couple months. Is crazy. Felt really strong. I did 100, so the last session we were doing 110 pounds, and so I bumped it up to 116 pounds, and that was feeling really easy. I bet I could have gone actually heavier in the session, but I like to pace myself. So 6 sets of 116 pound hangs felt super good, and they were all like quite easy, and I completed them all. It was really good. And then pinches, we actually were able to bump up the weight a bit as well too, from 68 pounds to 70 pounds. So just some nice consistent, steady progress that we've been seeing recently with our hangs and pinches, which is always nice. I find hangs are always pretty consistent, but then pinches kind of fluctuate a bit, but they've been pretty consistent recently, which is good. And so that concluded a very strong feeling day of training. So like I mentioned in yesterday's episode, we have like a kind of guest feature on a very popular climbing channel that we had scheduled for tomorrow. But like I mentioned in the last video, it wasn't like 100% locked in, set in stone. And I've been communicating with this person, and the last I heard from them, like at this current moment in time, the last I heard from them was that they were struggling to find a gym that could accommodate like some filming. So there's like potentially it won't happen tomorrow, and we'll have to like reschedule. And that's kind of looking like what it is right now. It's like 8 p.m. and still like no word from any gyms. So we're probably gonna have to reschedule this. But I'm still gonna climb tomorrow. Just kind of me and Maddie might just go around, or might go to Studio Block and then just like go around and have a sort of mess around fun session. Just because I want to still add this third day of training so that I don't have a double rest day as we're leading up into a competition. So that's probably what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't think this filming is gonna happen right now, but hopefully we'll be able to reschedule. So I won't film tomorrow's day of training because it won't really be a training day. It's sort of just like a filler session to get myself moving on the wall so I don't end up resting for 2 days. And so yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.